Welcome guys, thank you so much for joining in. So the question here is, are we bullish again? Because if you look at the price structure of Bitcoin here in a weekly time frame, the price of Bitcoin did manage to find support at this 50 weekly moving average, this orange line, because in the past Bitcoin price action, whenever the price of Bitcoin has found support at least around this 50 weekly moving average, right? You can see here another scenario here. We always have seen a really nice bounce of this 50 weekly moving average. Not just only here, you can see here this scenario unfolded again and again in the past Bitcoin price action. And if you look at this one here, right, this price movement from this low till this high, you can see almost like around 115% bounce. Here in 2018, from this low till this high, 55.65%. From 2019, 2020, you can see a bounce of almost like around 63.95%. Here again, you can see from the support area till the top, 43%. So if this is going to be another scenario where the price of Bitcoin is going to see at least a movement around this 40% price gain, right, then we should be testing this 40,000 to 41,000 price range again, because we are aware if the price of Bitcoin does manages to break out of this 41,000 range, right, and change this resistance into support, then I'm actually calling this a complete trend reversal for Bitcoin. But for now, since the price here is still below this one very important line of resistance, because in a daily time frame, you can see here I did talk about this price movement along with this falling wedge and included this moving averages. The red line here is the 50 exponential moving average and the green line is the 20 exponential moving average. Whenever you see this green line, the 20 exponential moving average at the top, and the red line, the 50 exponential moving average at the bottom, and at the same time, right, and at the same time, the MACD flashing a bullish MACD cross and is also in a positive territory, and RSI line, this RSI line also above 50 level. This red line is sitting exactly around 50 level. So if the RSI line also jump above 50 level, right, let me show you the names, and also this T3CCI starts in a positive territory like this here, right, then this four scenario combination is going to give us a confirmation that the trend here is ready for another impulsive movement. And if you look at this one here, when you see the red line at the top, which is the 50 exponential moving average, and the green line at the bottom, and at the same time, right, this crossover happening, and at the same time MACD heading into the negative territory, and also here the RSI line going below this 50 level, and T3CCI in a negative territory like this here, right, the red histograph you can see here. That is a sign, right, that is a sign that this trend here is possibly heading here to the downward direction. And now if we look in our case, since the price of Bitcoin has broken out of this very important line of resistance from this falling wedge, right, and also above this 20 exponential moving average, and now where we are approaching, guys, exactly around this 50 exponential moving average. This 50 exponential moving average is sitting around 35,100 right now. So if we are going to turn this daily time frame into a bullish scenario, what we have to do is this crossover to happen, this green line to cross above this 50 exponential moving average. I mean the 20 exponential moving average crossing above the 50 exponential moving average, right? Because the RSI and this MACD and T3CCI are also flashing a very interesting scenario. You can see here MACD has already flashed a bullish MACD cross, but we are still in a negative territory. What we want is this MACD line in a daily to start appearing here in a positive territory, and RSI has now already given a confirmation that this trend could be ready for another movement. T3CCI, you can see it's already starting here in a positive territory. So this is also a sign that now out of these four indicators, two indicators are actually flashing bullish scenario. But for a proper confirmation, as I said, we want this crossover to happen and also this MACD line in a positive territory. So if that is going to happen, then there is a very likely scenario the price of Bitcoin is going to break this 35,000 resistance, and it's also heading here towards this 40,000 price range. And the reason why I'm actually calling this price movement is because you can see here, if you look at the price structure right now, with the help of this CPI indicator, as I've already said you, this CPI is a leading indicator and it gives us information beforehand. With each and every monthly CPR, you can see the top CPI line, the central CPI line, the bottom CPI line. Whenever you see the market here in an uptrend like this, the CPI line is always going to act as a support, and it's also going to be more of an ascending CPI. But when the trend starts changing from this markup phase to markdown phase, the CPI line is not going to act as a support, it is going to act as a resistance. You can see when we try to break out of this, the lines, the central CPI line, the bottom CPI line, the top CPI line acted as a resistance. We had this pullback. Again here you can see CPI line got tested, it acted as a resistance, another pullback. Here similar scenario, CPI line didn't acted as a support, price had a pullback type of scenario. So now here in our case from this July month, you can see this July month CPI also rejected the price plenty of times. So that's why we said if this is not going to change, I mean a new CPI here to the upside, we must still be very, very careful, because right now if you monitor this price structure here, you can see we did actually talked about this one scenario in my video, descending channel, because we knew the upper line here was a very, very strong line of resistance. We had a fake out here, but after that you can see price came inside this descending channel and started following this scenario. Again, resistance, resistance. This upper line was a strong line of resistance. Here we broke out of it, right? Just like here. But one thing is very common, and if you look at this one here from June month, when we had this fake out, the volume here did not give any confirmation. You can see here, right? And at the same time, the CPI line acted as a resistance and not as a support. And after getting rejection from the CPI line, we came straight towards this descending channel, because the lower line here was a strong line of support, as you can see here. So again, we tried one more time, we got a rejection from the upper line area. This CPI line around 35,000 was tested plenty of time. It acted as a strong line of resistance, and now this breakout could be a very, very similar scenario just like here. So that's why we have to be very careful at this current stage, because you can see the volume is not giving us a proper confirmation, right? Because for this proper confirmation, we still need this crossover to happen, MACD in a positive territory in a daily time frame, and also here the resistance or this 35,000 line, the CPI line here must be turning as a support, because this CPI line rejected the price. We had this pullback, also made a new low compared to the previous one. And now if you look at this without the volume, right, if this is going to be another strong line of resistance here for Bitcoin around 35,000, because this central CPI line is exactly around 35,000 area. So that's why if this rejection is going to be there just like here, then we have to be careful, because this could actually bring the price lower than the previous one here, right? So that's why, guys, that's why until the price of Bitcoin is not giving us a proper confirmation, we are not going to turn bullish, and we are also not going to turn bearish. What we are going to expect, more of a range bound type of scenario playing out for Bitcoin. And if this is going to be a longer range bound, we are absolutely happy with that. And one thing what I also want to add into this video, guys, is this one scenario which pointed out that around this price level, after falling here around 28,000, the market might have bottomed in. So that's why I say to you, if we are going to see more of a range bound type of scenario, we are happy with that, because in the past Bitcoin price action, after this kind of range bound or this consolidation phase, we started another movement here to the upside. And now we are going to look at this indicator one more time, because if you have been following me for a while, you know we did talk about this price action of Bitcoin, and I also included this Williams percentage error and this ATR normalized indicator, and I also showed you how to add this ATR normalized, because you cannot find this indicator in TradingView, you have to code it, right? And if you look at this price structure and the price movement of Bitcoin along with this indicator, you can see here from 2017 in a markup phase, right? In a markup phase like this, the smaller price of pullback or a bigger price pullback, this Williams percentage error at minus 95, you can see here, this Williams percentage error is at minus 95 here, right? You can see exactly around this area, minus 95, this line here. And at the same time, if you see this ATR normalized at plus 95, you can see around this area, plus 95 here, right? That is a sign. Now, exactly at the same area, if both are confirming the same number, that is an indication of a market bottom. And after that, you can see a new trend started here to the upside in 2017. This scenario happened only few time in this price action of Bitcoin. And if you look at this here, if you follow the movement, after that we never got this confirmation until here in 2018 November, when the price of Bitcoin after this consolidation started correcting. This indicator again flashed a pretty similar scenario. You can see here around this area, right? Around this area, Williams percentage error is around 95, right? Minus 95. And at the same time, to the downside, you can see the ATR normalized also started jumping above plus 95, giving us a confirmation around this area, the market actually bottomed. So you can see after that, the price did saw some consolidation, but started this new move here to the upside. And now, again, if you follow this ATR and this Williams percentage error, we didn't had a confirmation. It must be exactly at the same line, because if this line, for example, let me show you here, right? If this is going to be at minus 95, we also want this ATR normalized at plus 95 at the same time. So this here is not a confirmation. But if you look at this in 2020, you can see when we had this massive price pullback last year, you can see exactly around that area, the Williams percentage error was around minus 95, and at the same time, the ATR normalized started jumping at plus 95, giving us a confirmation just like in the past Bitcoin price action, indicating, hey, around that area, the market might have bottomed. And after that, you can see the price started this new impulsive move. And now, guys, if we look in our case, after this price pullback here around this 28,000, this also indicated pretty similar scenario. The Williams percentage error is around minus 95, and the ATR normalized also started jumping above plus 95, giving us a confirmation that around this area, the market might have bottomed. And you can see the market is consolidating. We even came back and tested this 28,800 price area, right? But now we are seeing more of a consolidation. So now, if this is going to be a pretty similar scenario, just like here, more of a consolidation type of scenario before again starting this new trend, then we are absolutely fine with this consolidation before choosing an actual trend direction, because we are aware until we see a proper breakout scenario here playing out in a daily time frame, we are still going to be skeptical, because we know rejection from the CPI line in the past Bitcoin price action had led to another pullback. So if this is going to be another strong rejection for Bitcoin, then we are also aware that we could be seeing some more pullback and more of a range bound type of scenario playing out for Bitcoin. So these are some of the scenarios I thought sharing with you in today's episode. If you enjoyed my work, then please hit the like button, and for those individuals watching this for the first time, hit that subscribe button and the bell. So by saying this, I'm signing out. My name is Anup. Bye bye, guys.